Wilson, and welcome to my home, which is At Home with Lynn Wilson. And today I'm making a Instant Pot soup. I've never made it in the Instant Pot. I've never made it on the stove. I've only done it in the crock pot. We're making split pea and ham soup. My dad, many of you know, has been in and out of the hospital for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and he is resting home comfortably. Thank you for those that have been praying. Many of you have reached out and asked. He is home. He's doing well. He has some VA nurses coming by checking up on him, but he keeps asking for my soup. So I'm going to be making Instant Pot split pea soup, which is his favorite, and it will have carrots and potatoes and onions and celery and of course split peas and ham and a few other kind of unusual ingredients, which we'll go over in just a little bit. And I apologize if I seem a little puffy in the face here. I had a wisdom tooth taken out just yesterday, and got a little bit of a sore face, a sore everything right now. So if you can send me a little TLC, I'd appreciate it. But we're plugging through here. So we're gonna make this soup. I'm gonna bring you along. I've never done it, like I said, in the Instant Pot, but we're gonna try it out together, see what we think. So the first thing we're going to do is sit and chop our vegetables and our ham. And I like to chop everything very fine. Number one, I think it's more flavorful. I find that for myself. And number two, my dad has a hard time chewing, teeth, being older, just eating situations, being older. So I'm chopping everything as fine as I possibly can to give him more of a cream split pea soup than a chunky split pea soup. But listen, this recipe is the same either way. You either do it in chunks or you do it, as you'll see in the food processor, chopped fine. But I will give you a hint. If you chop it fine, I think it tastes a whole lot better. And by the way, my new blue apron, many of you have asked, and you've seen me in my, when I did my coffee station. I should tuck this in here. My sister, Allison, thank you, Allison, made this for me. Never in a million years did I think to even ask my own sister. I don't see her often, and she was out. We had a family reunion after 9 years of not seeing each other, and all the sisters got together, and she made this for me. It's well made, beautifully done, and my sister is a seamstress. She's also a proofreader. She has her own business and her own website, so if you're into blogging, into journaling, if you're into writing and you need someone to proof your work, she has reasonable rates, and I will leave that in my description below in case I never know who to ask for when I needed proofing done. And my sister is now a certified proofreader, and I'll leave that in the description below. So let's get started. Let's grind down and chop down some of our veggies, and then we're going to go right into the Instant Pot and cook it up. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to turn it to saute. And now we're going to go over the pot and I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of salted butter in here. And we want that to melt down. You can hear it beeping. Let me get a wood spoon. I find a wood spoon for split pea soup. Just feels right. Old-fashioned soup with an old-fashioned spoon. Okay, so now you can see the butter is starting to sizzle, and that is what you want. You want it to come to a nice bubble like that. And then you're going to put in your onions. And I used 2 medium onions. Again, this is to your flavor, so you can do whatever you like. And this is 4 regular carrots, and you want to cook this down. You want to stir it often, but not too often. But what you want to do is be able to cook down the carrots and the onions, and this will take about 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, so my carrots and the onions are nice, and I would say fairly cooked down, so I think we're in good shape there. The next thing I want to add to this, I did not use celery. I would have normally used 2 stalks of celery, but I am using, as you can see, dehydrated celery powder. So I'm using 2 teaspoons of that, which would give us a nice flavor. I don't have fresh celery, so I'm using what I happen to have. I'm just going to stir that in here, get that mixed in. There we go. I also want to add about a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm not going to add salt because there's salt in the ham and there's also salt in the butter. So I'd say we're good there. So a teaspoon of pepper. We're also going to add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And all my British friends can laugh at me because no, I do not know how to pronounce it. But that is okay. Okay, let me give that a quick stir. This is a lot of just dumping going here. Now again, you can do the same exact recipe in your crock pot or on your stove top. I just want to try it in the Instant Pot. The other thing I'm using is, you can see it's a little melted because it was near my stove. This is an old grated cheese container that I saved, washed out, and dried. This is kale and spinach and parsley, and I don't even know what other greens I had. Dehydrated them, chopped them up into a powder. And I'm going to add a little bit of this. Nobody will ever know what's in here. Look at that. For those of you that take barley green as a vitamin, you'll know what this is. So I'm putting a little bit of this in here. It's extra greens. Again, nobody knows it's in there but you and me. So don't tell anybody that they're going to get extra healthy by having this soup. But this is a great idea if your family does not like greens and you can't get your kids or even yourself to eat them. You can just dehydrate them and chop them up. Now you can see this is looking really good. Now at this point you could add bacon chopped up into little pieces and cook it down and stir it for about another 10 minutes. Or you could add a ham bone and cook that down in the broth for a little while. I'm using, as you saw, the ham that I chopped up, and now this is what's in the food processor. I'm gauging about 2 cups of ham. We're going to see, I don't have an exact proportion. I just cook what leftovers I have. This was leftover ham from Thanksgiving that we had put aside. How does that look, guys? You think that looks like? I think that looks pretty good. What do you think, Graham? Looks good?
Looks good to me.
Okay, so we've got that. Now what I want to do is I'm using this Better Than Bouillon. I'm going to get the lid on here. Okay, Better Than Bouillon, roasted garlic base. And it gives you the directions on here. 1 teaspoon equals 1 bouillon cube or 1 can of broth. So I use 2 teaspoons. So I put in 2.5 cups of water to the bouillon. Stirred it up a little bit. So let me mix this in here. Alrighty. And then we're going to add some chicken broth. I like the Better Than Bouillon. I don't have any with the chicken broth or with the chicken flavored. You can also get it with ham flavor. So I'm just using my Dollar Tree chicken broth. And I don't have any homemade chicken broth on hand. And some of you aren't into making homemade chicken broth, and that's perfectly fine. Don't let somebody bully you into thinking everything has to be homemade. It does not. No MSG, gluten-free, from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to add 2 containers of this. We will water this down when this is all done based on how thick it is, and then it depends on how thick you like it. Some people like it like a peas porridge almost. Other people like it very saucy. So you can just, you know, put water in it and adjust it accordingly once it's done. Okay, then we're going to put in 2 bay leaves. Let's get those out of the container here. I want 2 of those. These we will take out once it's all done. So there's 2 bay leaves going in. And what have I missed? I've missed 2 things. So whoop, I'm using 1 pound, 16 ounces of split peas. So let's go ahead and get that in here. Just give me a second to get this opened up. And we'll dump that right in. Actually, what I need to do, let me rinse these first. So I'll bring it right back. Okay, so I'm going to put in my 16 ounces of rinsed split peas. This is a very old-fashioned, comforting soup. It's hearty, it's full of protein, it's delicious. I am not someone who likes peas, but I do like a good split pea soup. Now, every good cook has their secrets. And I have a secret to how I make the best split pea soup ever. As you can see, all these ingredients are perfect if you cooked it just the way it is. But you know how you get a copycat recipe like a Panera or a Chick-fil-A, and it brings it from the greatest chicken you thought you ever had to the really greatest chicken you now know you've had because it's a copycat? So sometimes you just go with something that's semi-homemade. So take this recipe and it's perfect, thumbs up. But you want to bring it to the next level. Get a can of Amy's Organic Split Pea Soup. 1 can. It has carrots and potatoes and celery and all kinds of stuff already in it. Let me show it to you. I cannot eat this soup as it is. See that? I can't eat this. I don't like this soup at all. If you were to give this to me, I would tell you I don't like it. But you add this as a added ingredient to this soup that you're going to make, and let me tell you, it's my secret ingredient, so don't tell anybody. I'm only sharing it with my YouTube friends. But you add this to your split pea soup, and then everybody is going to say to you, what in the world is in that soup to make it so delicious? The other thing I want to do is I want to add some potatoes, so let me just drain these potatoes. I cut them up in just small chunks. You know, nothing extravagant, nothing fancy here. We're going to add some potatoes. It'll give it a little extra starch, a little bulk, and just give this a good stir. And this is it, guys. I got an absolute mess in my kitchen now. But we're going to put our lid on, put it on sealing, bring it down here. We're going to go on, turn it on so it's on. We want to go high pressure. And we want to go for 15 minutes. So let me bring that up to 15 minutes. Ooh. 15 minutes on high pressure. And then you're going to let it cook until it reaches done. And then you're going to let it do a slow release for 15 minutes before you open it up. All right, guys, I'll bring you back and let you see what it looks like. Let's check it out. I've given it a slow release. Look at this. Can you see this deliciousness? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. This is the perfect, to me, the perfect amount of thickness. I'm stirring this, all the split peas from the bottom, because this will thicken up as it cools off. You can always add more broth to it or add more water. Look at this. Okay, let me serve this up. Look at that. Can you just see? Look at all that goodness. The ham, the bits of carrot, the potatoes in here. One more scoop. Got a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onions, some split peas. Does that not look absolutely awesome? All right, guys, come and join me for some split pea soup, semi-homemade with a few secret ingredients. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And make your own soup and let me know how it turns out. We'll catch you on the next video.